Good morning. Happy Monday. It is the 25th of January, and we're here and alive and functional somewhat. My poor planner is like getting full. Okay, let me look at today. Today, 25th, conversion of St. Paul. I should have remembered that, but my brain is all over the place today. So yes, today is the conversion of St. Paul. Tomorrow is the 26th, so that's the feast of Saints Timothy and Titus. The 27th is St. Angela Merici, and the 28th is St. Thomas Aquinas. Then we skip ahead to the 31st, which is Sunday, which is the feast of St. John Bosco, but it's superseded by the fourth Sunday of Ordinary Time. So that's the coming week, and my planner gets a bit busy because I'm hopefully going to be traveling this coming weekend, and everything is all booked with flights and hotels and stuff. So hopefully it will all work out the way it's supposed to. Trying not to get too overly excited because last time I was supposed to go somewhere, the world ended and I wasn't able to go anywhere. So lemon black tea again, because it's very chilly out here in Montana, very cold. Tea is very a big necessity. Oh my goodness, my words today. So good morning and hello to everybody in chat. I'm seeing Gabrielle, Luke, Lou, and Karen. Good morning. Oh, my hands are very cold, so I'm just going to hold my mug for a bit. While I think about the rest of the day, we've got a lot going on. Yeah, I'm here though. That's functional. A note about next week's tea time. It will probably be at least 4 hours earlier because I will be in Eastern time for that one, and it will just have to be earlier because of time and things. So we'll see what happens with that one. I'm not going to say a time for sure because I don't know what my whole schedule is, but it might be early enough that it is before or after breakfast over there. So well, it might be only 2 hours earlier, but I don't know for sure. 2 to 4 hours earlier or something like that next week. Hello, Diane and Ghost. Hello. You have 4 feet of snow. You have more snow than I do right now. Right now I've only got a couple inches outside, so that's exciting. I like snow that it's very pretty, but I don't like having to shovel it or drive very far in it. So yeah, we don't have a whole ton right now. We're supposed to get a bunch more this week, I think. I haven't really looked at the weather though, because the weather's not always right. So there's that. Pardon me, my tea is very delicious this morning. My hands are just very cold. Okay, anyway. This week, in my planner, I ended up, see if I can cover up some of the things you guys don't need to see. I went all very much sunflower-y for my theme, and I'm very glad I printed those ahead of time because now we have, our printer doesn't have ink at the moment, so I'm not going to be printing more stickers for a bit. What kind of tea is it? It is a lemon black tea from Adagio Teas. There is a link in the description, I believe. So that's good because I like this tea a lot. I tend to like black teas with a little bit of flavor in, like blueberry black, lemon black. Those are like the flavored type teas that I like the best. I also have a grapefruit one that I really enjoy. And then I also like straight black teas like in English or Irish breakfast. I'm trying to think what the other ones are called. There's a few Darjeelings that I really like. I just like more of teas. I don't tend to put cream or anything in. I also really like, I have a masala chai that is amazing. It's very nice and cinnamony and delicious. Okay, Russian caravan tea. I'll have to take a look and see what's all in that one. But tea is just one thing that I've been drinking a lot of and staying hydrated. And it also helps keep me warm because I can just hold my mug and that's amazing. Yeah, there's different snows, it seems, with different snow. Like a lot of times it's like this fluffy snow. Out here we typically end up with fluffy snow and not so much the packing snow or building snow, but Sometimes it'll be the wet, thick snow that packs really nice into snowballs, and then there's lots of snowmen at all the schools. The kids love playing in the snow because they're kids. Okay. Today I was just going to talk about how we're almost through this month already. Like, it's going to be February before I talk to you all again. And we've made it through almost a month of 2021. And yeah, it's been kind of crazy. We all expected it to be kind of crazy. Like, things just don't go back to normal immediately. And we have a lot of things that are going to have to happen before we get back to normal, whatever that normal may be. And hopefully it happens relatively soon, because there's just been this whole past year, almost 11 months now, almost, has been tricky for a lot of people. And it'd be nice to have some semblance of that normal back again. So I've just been praying for more peace and for hope that things can get a little bit more normal in the world, and we can get back to that where we're not afraid of being with other people. We're not afraid of doing the things we like to do. So that's that one. Honestly, Gabrielle, I have not thought much about Lent yet, besides from like ordering all the things at the church. I mean, I ordered palms the other day. That was kind of crazy. Like, oofed, palms. Okay. But I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do for Lent this year. I don't typically just give something up. I typically add something to help me grow closer to the Lord. So I haven't figured out what my Lenten thing is going to be yet. There's a bunch of options. I know I don't have super long. I have like 1, 2, 3 weeks to figure that out. So we will see what I end up deciding on for this year for Lent. It's always tricky, and last year's Lent just kind of fell apart, and Lent lasted forever. So it's kind of tricky to think about Lent this year and try to think about what I want to do for a Lent this year. So that's going to be interesting. So we'll see. And yeah, Lent, it's just thinking about Lent already has been kind of crazy. Yeah. So this week is also like just a cold week here. It's typically a cold one. It's also, I believe, the last week of January is usually Catholic Schools Week, but we don't have a Catholic school in our town anymore. So that is kind of something that I just remember a lot of from grade school and high school. It was always Catholic Schools Week. It was kind of like Spirit Week. We'd dress up, we'd have extra masses. It would just be really fun. Kind of miss that. I'm kind of just rambling today because I'm only like somewhat functional. It's been a long week, it seems like. On Friday, I had my doctor appointments to get blood work and see how that's all going. My blood work is looking good, so thank you for praying for me. Not great, but better than it has been. So while I was in the city, I stopped at a wig shop for the first time, like ever, to try to get a little bit of information on what that would entail. So that's just was pretty emotional. It ended up being the last appointment of the day at the wig shop. And the other people it was like a salon area, and the wig lady has one of the chairs at the salon. You got like dividers up around it, so it's a little bit more private. But the rest of the people in the salon had left for the day already, and they have a limit from the city on how many people can be in the building at a time. So originally, my dad, who had come to the city with me, wasn't going to be able to come into the wig consultation, but he was able to come in, which was really nice because it's just it was very emotional just to try on wigs for the first time and get some opinions on what is good for where I'm at and where it looks like my hair won't be coming back. So that was just really a bit emotional to really just admit that my hair is where it is. And if anything, it's likely going to get worse, not better. And so looking at the possibility of a wig or wigs, so that way I can feel more normal. And some people in my life, I'm pretty sure, don't really like the scarves, but it's the only option that I have right now. So they kind of put up with it. So it would be good for other people too if I looked a little bit more like I used to. Especially my parents, they've been having a hard time with just dealing with my health stuff, it seems like sometimes, because it's interesting how our health struggles can affect our parents when we start thinking about it, because it's just really something to think about. And so I ordered a wig that will be in probably next week sometime. And then I have to get back down to the city to try it on, make sure it's right before we purchase this wig. And wigs are kind of expensive. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure for money-wise at this point. So we'll see. I think my parents are going to help with that, but it feels weird to also ask them to pray for, or like to pay for my hair. It's just really kind of strange. Yeah, so that's all of the things that are kind of crazy. And it will be interesting to see what happens. She told me to expect a phone call the end of this week about setting up an appointment for the following week to come down and try on my new hair, which just sounds kind of crazy. We looked at a lot of different options. We talked about different things. They apparently also make these wigs now that are like, that just like start at the sides, and they're just like around that you can put like whatever hat you have over them, that are apparently good for like exercising, because it's not a full wig. I'm like, I don't really exercise. I go for walks. So, so there's a lot of different options, but this lady who has this little wig shop down there, she is very knowledgeable and knows a lot, and was very compassionate and helpful. So we'll see how that goes. She also said that there are people who, once they find a length that they like for a wig and a color they like, that they get multiple different styles that are the same color and length. So people think it's just, you styled your hair differently this day, like a curly one and a straight one and a kinky one, like just like slightly different textures that are all roughly the same length and color. So that's something to consider for the future when I can possibly afford more than one wig, which is not happening right now. But yeah, so for color, it's going to be basically the same as what my hair always was, and it'll be just about shoulder length-ish. It's considered a long bob is the style I picked out. So I'll show you all when I get it. It'll probably be 2 weeks before I'm able to show you guys, if I get down to the city to pick it up when I would like to. Yeah, so it's kind of exciting. It's also kind of nervous, and it's also kind of just like strange feeling to think that it's been a couple months since I've seen myself with hair that it just feels weird. And the wig lady didn't have the exact style that I picked out in stock, but she did have a wig that was the same color that I picked out. So we know that it's a color that almost matches mine. My dad said it looked just like my hair before, the one that I had tried on, that I did not pick that style because it's a very full wig and it made me feel like I had a lot of hair on top of my head. My hair has always been very thin and very fine, so I'm not used to having a lot of hair. So I kind of was very picky almost with picking out something that would not make me feel like I had too much hair on my head, because I've never had a lot of hair. Like my ponytail, even when I had all of my hair, was like, at the most I could maybe get it to like nickel size, like a nickel size quarter, not quarter size, but like a nickel size one. Like my hair is so thin, like all of my hair pulled back in a ponytail. It's still a very small ponytail when I had hair. So I didn't want to get something that would be a wig with a whole lot of hair, because I'm not used to having ever had a whole lot of hair. So we'll see. It's an adventure for sure, and it's a lot of trust that things are going to work out the way I hope they do. And we'll see how that all goes. Again, pretty nervous about that. So there's that. And I mentioned to you guys that I am traveling this country. Know for sure when that will be, just because it's traveling. So time zone changes and all that. I'm very excited to be able to travel again. I think I've mentioned to you guys before that I'm going to be in Florida for just a couple days, and it will be nice to be somewhere warm. My friend down there says it's been cold, but I'm pretty positive that cold for them is not cold for me when you're from the frozen tundra north, absolutely freezing all the time. Yeah. So just wanted to update you, let you know where I'm at, and see if you guys had anything you'd like me to talk about in these coming tea times. If you just like me rambling about whatever's going on and what's coming up in the coming week. Looking at my planner, it's telling me I need to register for Mass this coming weekend because I will be in Florida where they have Mass registration. Our little parish doesn't, so I have to check their website and see how that all works sometime today, hopefully, because I do want to go to Mass while I'm in Florida. It would be strange not to. So yeah, just let me know what you would like to see, I guess, in these. I'm enjoying these tea times in that it gives me something every week, even if I don't have time to fully edit anything up or record anything, which I haven't had time in quite a while. It's been crazy. Life is just crazy sometimes, and then the plague stuff is all crazy, and just worry about everybody, including my grandparents, who are dealing with all of this stuff and other health things, and I can't be there. So anyway, just looking ahead to see if there's anything else on my calendar to tell you about. Well, I'm glad you like these, just general chat and ghost. Yes, when you're in strict lockdown, it's kind of hard and just to feel normal because you can't do a lot of the normal things. So I completely understand. Perpetual private vow. Oh, okay. So like a private vow of virginity versus the public consecration of virgins is what I'm guessing you're asking, Karen. And perpetual private vows are not something I know a whole ton about. I know more about the temporary private vows because that was what my spiritual director had me make, a temporary private vow leading up to my consecration and before we talked to the bishop to see if this was where the Lord was calling me. Private vows are usually just private in that they're not sanctioned or like by like the bishop or the universal church. It's kind of complicated to say. Like it's not private in the sense that it's you and you alone. You can have other people there when you make your private vow, but it isn't public in that you are publicly recognized by the universal church. It just gets, it's hard to explain. Okay. Very few people knew that I even had made a private vow when I did, because I made my private vow in front of the tabernacle with just my spiritual director, who is also my pastor. It's very important to make sure that you have a pastor or a priest, spiritual director, somebody to read over what you're going to say before you say it. I wrote out a paragraph for my private vow because there's no real formula either. That's also what makes it private, is that it's very individual to the person who is making it. And often they have time limits. The one my priest asked me to make was a 2-year private vow, I believe. I can't remember quite how long it was. I think it was 2 years, maybe 3, but it was no more than 3 years. I think it was 2. And he was my witness for that. And that was when, so he witnessed it with a private vow. The only person who can release you from a private vow is your pastor or your diocesan bishop, or like the Pope going up the ladder farther. But it's usually your pastor. So it's important that your pastor knows what vow you've made and what conditions there are, so that if you feel like you're not able to fulfill it, it can be dispensed. Just something to think about when you're thinking about private vows. But they're very personal, individual, something to talk about with your priest or spiritual director. And especially just to get your pastor's input on it, because they will know a little bit more about it. I did not take a private perpetual vow at all. Technically, consecrated virginity does not take any vows. That's one of the things that makes it a little strange from religious life, where they make vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. In consecrated virginity, we don't make a vow. We assent to the, the gift that the Lord has given us. My brain is blanking on like the words. It's really a consecration, not a vow. It's assenting to something that is happening and saying that we will do our best to live it out. It is a vow in the sense that it's something that is meant to last forever, and it has conditions, kind of, I guess, in that we are called to be virginal our whole lives, to follow the divine lamb. But it's not a vow in the way that I said, I vow to do this or that. So consecrated virginity is a bit different in that, and it's really beautiful. If you read through the Rite of the Consecration of Virgins Living in the World, it's very lovely. Okay, any priest can commute it. Okay, Ghost. I wasn't sure. I knew my pastor had said that it had to be like the pastor, the priest who had jurisdiction over you. I'm not sure if that's different now or what it is, but that's what he had told me years ago. So yeah, yes, I know that was St. Kateri's. Yeah, she's awesome. Okay, so anyway, I guess we like these rambly talks, and sometimes we get into questions if you have them, like Karen's. So yeah, that's what I've got today. It's been a day already. It feels like so much has happened, and it's not even that late. It's just morning yet, and I'm attempting to function the best I can. So that's all that I have to say right now. I just want you all to know that I'm praying for you. Please keep praying for me, and I will see you all next week. God bless.